Hey, Shump. First off, since we hadn't had a chance to talk to you, what is it felt like being back, with the group, even though it's somewhat of a different looking group? And what has this process been like getting ready for game action?
It's been great. So far, so good. I've gotten a warm welcome from everybody. I know a lot of the guys here. Seems like all the coaches and trainers that I've ever came in contact with, everybody just sort of poured over here to Brooklyn. So it's been a pretty easy transition for me as far as knowing personnel. Getting back up to speed, just shifting from working out by myself and, working on the small details of getting better as a player, and then translating over to now applying it to a team aspect of things. But I'm kind of trying to do everything all in one really quick, just to try and help the guys, as opposed to coming in and worried about myself. Just more so coming in and trying to help the teams. We got another scheme of superstars over here now.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Hey, Iman, welcome back. I guess I'm just curious. You said you were working out alone. What did the past couple of weeks, months look out for you leading up to this in terms of your conditioning and what you were able to do?
Just working out, trying to do things more full court. Early on, when the season first started, I was doing more full court stuff, and I sort of took the foot off the gas a little bit. To try and make sure that I was healthy, make sure that when I do come into a situation that I have fresh legs, as opposed to, trying to run myself into the ground, not knowing when I'm going to get a call. But, when we're talking about doing a workout, it's easy to run by yourself and sort of, force yourself to do sprints. It's another thing to run, stop, go, get hit with a screen, couple actions come, and then you got to make a shot. It's hard for me to simulate those things without having NBA players around. You could say like, yeah, I did the drill and I shot the floater, but it's another thing when you got Vail out here trying to block your shot when we playing pickup. So it's just been great to get around those guys and be able to play. We played threes the other day, being able to play threes and, really get some game-like action out there and really get to see that length again that the NBA brings.
And you mentioned, kind of sitting and working and waiting, but in this pandemic season, what was that like to be waiting for that call against this backdrop?
It was tough. It's I was going from I was driving about 45 minutes to an hour to get into a gym. Just to get into a gym, and I was lifting at another gym, probably about 15, 20 minutes from there. And then I was driving over to Georgia Tech to get treatment, which is probably another hour. So all those things was happening because, there were small windows for me to get on the court, knowing that they have to clean the court in between things. You have volleyball, basketball, men's and women's, in most of these college spaces that I was working out in. And a lot of times I found myself at like a LA Fitness or a Equinox gym, just, trying to get my weights in and make sure that I, get some sort of cardio, even if I got to do the Stairmaster. But it was cool, man. It was kind of, it's kind of like the most blue collar thing that I've done in a long time, with the time that I've spent in the league. I think at some point you just sort of get comfy with knowing you got somebody standing over you telling you, what time to be somewhere. And it was kind of cool to go back to that high school feel, that high school hunger of, I just want to play basketball. Like, I don't really care if y'all give me a gym, I'll figure it out. Just, I got to play ball today. And it was cool for that, just so my kids and my wife, everybody got to see, like, man, dude, you really love basketball. Like, you go and you rebounding for little kids in 7th grade because their workout runs over. You like damn near training them too. I'm like, I got to be in the gym. So it was cool to just, not that I fell out of love with it, but it was cool to quote unquote fall in love with the game again and just fall in love with the little things of, man, I'll go to the YMCA and play ball if I have to.
Thank you.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Shump, can you just describe what it means to be so familiar with guys like Joe Harris and Kyrie, and kind of impact do you feel you can make right away on a team that really needs the kind of defense that you can provide?
I think it's even simpler than defense for me. I think it's a communication thing. Being able to communicate the terminologies of our league, being able to get me up to speed quicker because I played on a multiple different franchises, and with each franchise, I think I've had to play alongside some form of superstar in our league. And those guys understanding that, they understand that I want to understand the role enough to say, I can get this done and not take it personal. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times that in order for a star to be a star, a role player has to be a lesser version of themselves, not a worse version, but a lesser version, just to focus on the things that we got to focus on to win. And I think that adds a level of comfort, not only to our superstars, but the rest of the guys in our locker room to say, you know, this is not I come in with a high confidence, whether I score 30 or I'm going to score 1 point, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to carry myself the same way. And I think that becomes contagious when you're playing on a special ball club that we got. You know what I'm saying? Like when we get to those later months of the season, the consistency and the communication is what provides the energy for us to play defense on that end.